Oh, there we go. All right, well, what sort of special effects do we have here? There. Hello. My skull still itches. Well, it's the first of the year. It's 2023. I guess it's January 1st. I've got money again. The bars close at 6 p.m. on New Year's, so I didn't do anything, which I'm kind of proud of. I just cooked a steak with some onion rings and some calamari. It ended up mushy because I put water in there, and you don't put water on onion rings evidently because it kind of like just turned it into this mush. And then I made some macaroni. Calamari and steak, that might not be bad. And the mushroom, the breaded onion rings. I mean, the onions and the breaded stuff, they're still there. It's just they kind of decomposed into this, not slime, but I mean, I guess I can. The onions are still there, and I like onions. Oh well, it looks interesting, and the calamari kind of stuck together. I don't think anything's burned. My face itch. Okay. I'm kind of hiding out on Facebook because I said something. Somebody made me angry. What was it? Oh yeah, I was commenting on how corrupt the Republicans were. And it was such a stupid comment they made that it's divisive to point out that this guy Santos, whatever, is such a liar. He said he was Jewish and wealthy and well educated, and he lied about everything. And evidently, somehow bringing up the fact that he's an absolute crook, and this is indicative of what's happened to the Republican Party. Now, are Democrats crooked too? I don't think to that extent. But that's the point, I guess they're saying is, it doesn't matter how corrupt they are, if they rape children or eat babies or, they're white supremacists bent on overthrowing democracy, as long as they stick to the important issues like cutting my taxes and banning abortion. I mean, you get the same arguments from Democrats, I guess, All right, Harvey Weinstein, those liberals in Hollywood, they may be degenerate pukes. Was Harvey Weinstein even a Democrat? I think a lot of those wealthy Democrats are just, there are a lot of people like Trump, I think, on either side. They're just whatever they need. Their politics are very expedient, and they kind of, they don't really believe in anything except whatever's going to get them what they want or what they need or their power or their island full of naked sex slave children. Oh, that's so horrible. It isn't even worth. It isn't Epstein. I mean, was he a liberal Democrat? See, that's the thing. Anybody that's scummy and that rich, it's just like they're apolitical. If they hang out with that, yeah, you know what? You got a point there. The Democrats have problems too, especially in Hollywood. And as long as they're like they say they're for the issues that you want, like pro-choice, which I think is very important, and preserving Social Security, which I think is very important, and for unions and the environment. Is anybody really sincere? And not over 100? I think the thing about the Republican Party now is it's just so hyper. There aren't even any words for what Donald Trump and this guy Santos is. They're demagogues, and they think they can say or do anything, and maybe they can, and they'll be blindly followed by these lemmings. Now, is the Democratic Party perfect? Are Democrats also not dopey about things like this? I think of course not, but I think that the Republican Party is just so stained. Now, do the Democrats have problems? I think the very fringes of the party, you've got two things in the Democratic Party. You've got the neoliberals who are just basically Like this crypto guy, evidently he bribed a lot of Democrats to get crypto deregulated. That sucks. And then you've got the identity politics people with the 15 genders and all this crazy defund the police stuff on the and this so-called reform, the so-called reform of bail and criminals, and basically holding up really, really slimy people and saying they're victims of racism when they're rapists and murderers and thugs and they loot and they steal, and it's all then they claim they're being discriminated against because they're a member of a minority. Look, if you rape, murder, and steal, and then cry it's the system, I have no sympathy for you. It's not an excuse to steal. And this whole defund the police and bail reform, it sounds good, but the immediate results of all these things is, and I'm an old fat white man. I'm sorry. I'm a sitting duck. I don't own weapons, and even if I did, um, my arthritis is so bad. I don't even think I could pull a trigger. My eyesight is bad. I'm fat. I have hard trouble moving. All I've got is this, and I don't even really think I can use it that much. But I've learned to flick it out. Knives can be very intimidating, and if you go for the throat, or the eyeballs, if you stab someone in the eyeball, that's good or bad. And then what else do I have? I've got this epileptic. This can cause epileptic seizures. I'm pretty sure. This light, it's shine. Oh man, shine that in somebody's eyeballs, and that's just ouch. And then we've got this, which is mace. Hopefully, it still works. You have to shake it up, or I don't know. I've had it maybe for a month, 2 months. I don't even know. It's just been sitting there. It's tiny though. It's just tiny. This is my kind of like my major weapon. If someone breaks in the house, they might beat me up, but boy, am I gonna! You flash this in somebody's eyes, and it's gonna hurt. And then you squirt mace in their eyes, and then when they're all deflected and everything like that, what do? You pull out the old pocket knife, the old switchblade, and you slit their throat. And then while they're bleeding to death, you call them. I mean, I'm not saying I'm for police brutality or any of those things. I think they need reform. I think they need to pay them better. I think they need better training. I think they need better vetting. I mean, I know in Europe, they don't shoot as many people simply because very few people have guns in Europe, okay? That's the thing. That's the thing that makes me live. I'm a liberal on some things and conservative on other things. They just are in Singapore. Nobody, the civilian population, there are people that have guns. They're mostly hunting weapons. And even in Switzerland, they're not allowed to walk around with them. I guess in Czechoslovakia, you can get a permit, and they're relatively easy to get if you're law-abiding and sane. You got to be trained and everything. You got to go through training and stuff like that, which I think is good. Or even I was watching a movie on Estonia, but very few people have them. It's just people don't feel the need. There isn't a lot of crime. People don't feel compelled to own guns. You can, but you got to have a reason. And if you're going to be walking around with a gun, they're going to train you on how to use it. But I really don't think that there isn't really a big crime problem in Czech or in Switzerland. Ironically enough, I was watching this one woman said when she was in the UK, she didn't feel safe a lot of places she went. And the people of the United Kingdom are completely disarmed. Legally, they're not allowed to defend themselves in any way at all. I think they can have like a whistle. Or I think this might be legal. This flashlight thing. You have no idea. That is such an intense... If you're out in the dark and somebody flashes something like this in your eyes, it's annoying. Oh, look at, oh, yeah, I got purple in front of my eyes. That's gonna like stun somebody, because if you've got a blind mugger, that's really good for you, not the mugger. The mugger is going to trip over a trash can or a rat or fall flat on his face and really hurt him on a broken bottle and hurt it. I mean, there are a million and one ways that blinding somebody like that, temporarily blinding somebody like that, can really give you a chance to like get away. It's going to cause any permanent damage. Not, I mean, mace can actually damage you. I think if you spray it in someone's mouth, you can actually kill them. Killing somebody with a flashlight, I mean, maybe if you took this thing and beat them over the head with it, only it's so tiny, but it's built pretty sturdy, and it's got these little nubs here, so you could actually probably, it's next to impossible to kill somebody with that. But this is why I'm hiding on Facebook, because somebody said that the fact that I'm pointing out how crooked the Republicans are is divisive, and it's gonna deflect from the real crux or the real problem, which is I don't know what they think the real problem is. I think corruption exists in both parties. I think it's a problem. It's why I tend to say that I'm an independent that leans Democratic, even though I'm registered to be a Democrat. I don't think the Democratic Party is ideal. I don't agree with its political ideology in a solid way. I think I'm closer to being a Western European social democrat, although I'm more of a centrist because I know people aren't going to want to pay 50% in income taxes and things like that. But I'm not into all this identity politics and this sort of like radical, the blacks hate the Mexicans and the Mexicans hate the gays and everybody hates the Jews. I think identity politics, and people don't realize this. You know who the biggest promoter of identity politics are? And I mean this sincerely, are the white supremacists. And so everybody else has to be proud of what they are, which it just divides us. And I think the division that I look at is, maybe you shouldn't be a division, is social corporatism. Now, the fascists were into that. They were. But they were also racist. But this is, you have to separate it. And I'm going to be very careful here because I don't want it to sound like I'm apologizing for Hitler or any of the horrible things the fascists did. But they weren't all bad. They were very pro-technology. They did create social corporatism, which is like, I don't believe in it coercively, but look at Sweden. People say, well, that's fascist. Well, it's not. Everybody more or less there's pressure, but they more or less voluntarily sit down at a table, the government, business, industry, and the unions. So you have not so much class division as class cooperation. All the different classes in society try to come together. And now people absolutely equal? No. Should people be absolutely equal? Yes and no. Mostly no. Because if you work harder and you've achieved more, obviously it's not moral for you to only be rewarded the same as some bum that's sitting on the couch collecting welfare, drinking beer and watching football or smoking weed. I'm not saying people should go hungry or whatever, even if they're lazy. But what I am saying is you got to provide rewards or society will fall apart because people need an incentive to get some level of rich or they're not going to produce anything if the government's just going to take it all. I know that. But there has to be equity in society. You can't have these huge disparities. It's not right, and it's not even feasible because a society is not going to stay together if there are these huge divisions. I think there might be exceptions, but Hong Kong. Yeah, look at Hong Kong now. And people say, well, that was artificial. It's not artificial. It was this tiny little place, and the Chinese took it over. Or Monaco, or Liechtenstein. They're these tiny little places, Cayman Islands, that have like 20, 30,000 populations. And if the United States or China wanted to, they could just squash them like bugs. They're very precarious, and they exist because the society at large allows them to exist, because that's where the rich people go to avoid paying taxes. But it'd be very easy to just wipe them out, and I think they should be. Maybe there should be a switch. Oh, here we go. It's 7 o'clock, by the way. Alexa, stop the alarm. It's 7 o'clock on New Year's Day. Alexa, stop alarm.
7 a.m. Alarm stopped on Bill's Echo Dot.
Well, I think the alarm downstairs was canceled, and I think that's a good thing, because that thing's annoying. I got to walk all the way down there and turn it off by the time I get down there. Then I want to get something to drink. I've got to take a shower. I'm starting to smell, and my skin's itchy. Well, anyways, the reason that I am hiding in this, for the time being, in Duke, Normandy, is I've gotten a timeout. I don't know what they call them, like Facebook jail. Google Facebook jail, because that's basically it. I am in. Let's see what the Urban Dictionary says about Facebook jail. I am in Facebook jail right now, but I escaped, and I'm on the run. Alexa, stop alarm. Facebook jail. Facebook jail is a term used when Facebook suspends accounts. Okay, I'm a suspended profile or company page for violating Facebook community standards. Whether purposely or unintentionally, the penalties range from a ban of uploading posts for a few hours, 3 days, 6 days a week, or up to the removal of the profile or page. Everything you need to know to avoid it. Oh, your account is temporarily locked. We've detected suspicious activity on your Facebook account. Have temporarily locked. Secure. Okay, well, I'm not locked. Penalties range. Okay. The sentence can last from a couple of hours up to 21 days. I've gotten 30 days. Thus, there are mainly two types of blocking Facebook jail. Temporary blocking. In such a case, Facebook suspends your account for a certain period of time, and after the ban period gets over, you can resume your account activities. The maximum period for putting such a ban is 21 days. No, it's 30. Permanent blocking. This is when an account will be permanently deleted and it will not be possible to ever get access to your account again. Why does Facebook put people in jail? On September 2019, Facebook revealed the additional steps they are introducing to fight hatred and extremism around Facebook network. Although it is frustrating, it's important to note that Facebook is doing this in order to preserve the credibility, protection, and privacy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, nice. But, I mean, it's like gun control in Canada. Should people be allowed to run around and shoot people? Well, obviously, people shouldn't be allowed to commit mass, these mass shootings where they kill 20 or 30 people. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Should they have access to quote-unquote weapons of war? You want my honest opinion on that subject? Mostly yes. Should they be able to go into Walmart and buy one of these things? Absolutely not. It should be extremely difficult to get your hands on either a handgun or like what they call an assault weapon, which is, they argue about. It's just such a waste of time to argue about the definition of words like that's not real socialism, or so you're a socialist, you're a communist. It's just so freaking pathetic and such a waste of time to sit around and argue about what words mean. All right, well, that didn't go too well. Facebook jail. They make this sound like Facebook jail is like necessary or a good thing. It's just so fucking arbitrary. It's like Bill C-21 in Canada. Am I for gun control? Well, yes and no. A lot of people would call me a FUD because, like, the Second Amendment absolutists will say There should be no restrictions. People should be allowed to bazookas. The Federal Firearms Act of 1934 is unconstitutional, which it isn't. States have a right to form militias. That's all the Second Amendment ever said. And this whole Heller, a lot of these recent Supreme Court rulings are just fictions. And Roe v. Wade gave women the right to an abortion, and to take it away, and they said, well, there's no right in the Constitution. Well, actually, there is, because Roe v. Wade was an interpretation, was a Supreme Court ruling. So actually, it is in there somehow. And see, arguing about these things, I get heated and I say things I probably shouldn't. Like, if you really think that Republicans should be able to lie like this and then nobody should pay any attention to it, then you're a traitor and you should be guillotined. I never should have said that. But I did, and that's why I'm in trouble. I lost my cool and said, what I should have said is this. If that's your opinion, and I really believe this, this whole issue of everybody being allowed to vote, even the stupid people, that thing where Larry David goes, you're going to let stupid people vote? I think there's some people that are just so ill-educated and so low IQ and so lost on the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories with they won't get vaccinated, they won't wear a mask, they won't act like an adult or like a rational human being. You're basically a child and you should be treated like a child. Should you be beaten brutally? Again, it's tempting. But no. And I made a mistake inferring that brutality was the way to go. How do you deal with a petulant child? Firmly, but you have to be an adult. You have to be proportional. Because like in Singapore, they'll hang you or they'll beat you with a cane. Now, is that works, but is that the way to go? I'm not sure we can. You have to be firm. But it sounds elitist, but I take a very paternalistic, elitist attitude. These people shouldn't be voting. They probably should have a bus pass that they're allowed to take to and from the daycare center, to take their meds. That's a huge percent of the population that I suppose can sweep the floor or do whatever they can. But should they be involved in the political process, or should we listen to them? No. They're too stupid. Should we try to educate them and teach them how to think properly? Well, I'm not talking about indoctrination here, but I think efforts to teach people how to think critically and discern reality. Here we go. That's good. You can't see it, but that was Duke Normandy is actually, let's see what else we're doing here. Now the worm that ate Cleveland. See, first it was the holidays, and now that I've got this band, Earl Holliman is now the only surviving cast member. He played the cook. Well, I think I remember him. Wasn't he the one that wanted the bourbon? Wow. Everybody's dead. All right, Earl Holliman. How old is Earl Holliman? 1928. Shoot, Jiminy. Okay. Animal rights activist, singer known for his many character roles. Okay, he looks familiar. He's 94. He's a vegetarian. But he's a Republican. Well, see, David Eisenhower was the old Republican, and I think if the Republicans were like that, I might. I keep saying I'm a socialist, but this is. I'm not. I must not be. He dated Jane Fonda and Dolores. Who the heck is Dolores Hart? Dolores Hart is 84, and she's not dead, is she? A Roman Catholic Benedictine nun who was a prominent actress following her movie Elvis Presley. By early 1960s, an established leading lady, she stunned Hollywood by announcing she would forego her life as an actress, leaving behind her career to enter the Abbey of Regina Monastery in Connecticut. What? Wow. Who does that? Well, I think you actually have to kind of admire someone that would give up everything. So Earl Hallman is still alive. God, what was that? Yeah, he's pretty old. All right, well, I suppose that's being better than being some degenerate that rapes children, like Harvey Weinstein. Well, it's doing well. All right, back to the worm that ate Cleveland because I have been neglecting it because of holidays and because of Facebook jail. I'm hiding here over on. Wait, let's take a look here and see. Because I kind of am hiding. Revenge of the Worms. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Well, at least I'm going to the page now. My skull. I'm going to have to take a shower before my skin just. I'm so itchy. I think it's nerves. Well, no, this is not good. I know there are things on this page. Is my internet connection bad? Revenge of the Worms looks good, but it's just. Come on, I know I posted things on this page. Huh. Oh, Hickey, here we are. I'm getting censored again for nothing. That was 23 hours ago. You know what we could do? Because now we've got 3 pages. We've got the worm that ate Cleveland, 1 and 2. All right, because there are now 2 worms that ate Cleveland. Oh, I see what I did. I posted here, but there's got to be another connection because there is another worm that ate Cleveland. Did I put it here? All right, I'm making this too long. It's not really saying anything. Because I know there's another one. Christmas song. Oh, maybe it isn't on this list, but it's kind of a new favorite. And I'll probably get in trouble for that. Addiction. I like that signature. That's enough. That's enough. I'll get in trouble if I play any more. I probably get in trouble for that. With. All right, let me try something else. Switch accounts. What have I been doing with... Okay, Bill Sands. Okay, let's go to Bill Sands. Oh, no, that didn't work. Come on. Switch accounts. That might work now. Wow, it's slowing down. Now we got a problem. Oh no, that worked. That worked. Or did it? Oh, all right. There are 2 members. They're now okay. Here we are. Came from outer space. All right. Now, let's see. Am I still in Facebook jail here? Let's see. And let's see for how long I'm in Facebook jail. How long? To prevent any misuse, you've temporarily restricted what the deuce is temporarily? All right. Well, maybe if we go to the. Okay, let's take a look here. Was this the? I think this is the site that I was actually got the penalty from. Let's. That's not Bill's. That's golly gee. All right, Duke Normandy, Richard Blaine. Oh. Duke Normandy request accepted. Well, that's good. Okay. Oh, see, now I'm getting confused. No, I don't want to be a worm. All right. Test. See, this is what happens when you start. Okay, you recently posted something that violates Facebook policies, so you're temporarily blocked from using this features. Okay, the block will be active for 1 day and 22 hours more. Oh, well, that's not bad. That's not bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. Okay. So we're back to Duke Normandy. If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh. Otherwise, they'll kill you. Who said that? It's Oscar Wilde. That's pretty awesome. I mean, he was gay, but you know what? I think that how could Oscar Wilde not be gay? Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That is really. I'm walking this old pickup truck, and it's been sitting in the same place for so long. The trees have actually grown into and around it. So in order to get it, I mean, you'd have to cut the trees. Yeah, the trees have become part of this rusty old hulk. That's quite amazing. Okay, so I've got about 2 more days left on this. The worm that ate Cleveland. Wow. Okay. Okay, good. Rick is now my friend. Revenge of the Worms. Switch now. Oh god, I hate being constipated. It's so painful. It's got like a lump of cement in my ass. Sorry about that, but it's just like I don't know if it's being old or my diet or stress or whatever causes this, but okay, let's see if we can get that. Looks kind of cool. The worm that ate Cleveland. All right, that's good. If you go to the page, you can see what I did. Okay, now we should probably put up the other worm that ate Cleveland. Duke Normandy. And that's Rick Blaine. Yeah, someone's going to see this and I'm going to be I think they really get mad when you try to do the alternate account thing, but fuck it. I mean, I'm just so. This is civil. This would to me isn't breaking the law. This is civil disobedience. I really feel that people like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk have way too much power, and they censor the wrong people. The only people that should be censored are real political extremists. Should it just be the people on the right? I actually don't think so. I think there are people there are less though. I think it's less of a problem if you look at it objectively. Anybody that advocates violence or misinformation of any kind or any sort of divisive this the whole cancel culture thing, I think that's bad too. Oh, okay, I'm restricted for 47 hours. Okay, okay, here we go, here we go. Fair enough, fair enough. See, I'm getting confused. Here we go. Well, let's not dally here because we've been how long is this thing going on now? 41 minutes. All right. Well, I mean, who's going to watch it for 41 minutes? It's just me basically doing nothing, just these long periods of silence. Who's going to watch this? Probably nobody. Back to Duke Normandy now. Oh, maybe it's my computer, maybe it's my internet connection. Look at this. It's just okay, see that's not good. That's like a dead page. It's not loading. Now I got the swirly thing. All right, now let's go back to Duke Normandy and see if the page will load. Duke Normandy is not loading. What the heck is with that? But this page will load. Ooh. Boom. Huh. I'm watching a 200-pound man fight a 600-pound man. Well, that's interesting. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's my head. Ouch, 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 ouch. Pound, pound, pound. Now he's getting up. This is actually kind of interesting. All right, well, since that was kind of interesting, we'll all right. Why is that not loading? Huh. I'm just fascinating, aren't I? Maybe I should just post this to YouTube too. It'll just seem. Duke Normandy. What's with you? Ah. There we go. There we go. All right, it did finally load. Now I gotta take a pee. An old man in his bladder. Here, let's see what this would. Okay. No, but see, that didn't hold. That did, and that didn't. Well, at least it says Worm That Ate Cleveland. All right, here we go. Revenge of the Worms. People won't see this unless you pin something. I don't even know what that means. Here we go. Okay, the Worm That Ate Cleveland. Bubbly, bubbly. Ooh. All right, let's see what we got here. Do I have anything science fiction-y left? Oh, yeah, that might work. Although I might get me another ban. All right, well, let's see. Let's see. Let's see if we get another ban because of this. You can't see your nipples, Mark, all right? So wasn't that your standard? You got a little. It's not side boob, it's lower boob. But sin in space. But you can't see the nipples. And it's just a cartoon. Not a cartoon, but can you see the nipples? There's a hint of nipple, but maybe that doesn't count. And the spaceman's really looking hard. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Okay, now that I've tortured you for 47 minutes, how is the Worm That Ate Cleveland actually going? Well, it isn't. I think I decided that maybe it would be a television series or the movie might focus around, okay, these guys, he's a little bit deranged, he doesn't know what real is, and he's writing it, and you don't know whether it's just in his mind or whether it's come true. But this gay couple across the street has these worms in their backyard. You don't know where the worms came from. Their basement is kind of weird. Is it like the solar opposites of spaceship? And they can't pay their rent, so they take the worms and they bake them into this substance that looks like tofu. You know, this meat substitute, and they want to sell it. And because he's a writer, but he has some experience also with how to start a small business, or he claims he does, and sell it on Amazon, and they cook it up, and it gets into him, and it gets flushed on the toilet like an alligator, only he seems relatively immune. But not everybody is, and then they sell it, and for a while, and then they stop selling it because the FDA shuts them down. But some people explode into worm monsters, and they're quickly dealt with flamethrowers. But there are some people that eat this stuff. Most people are perfectly fine, but other people turn into serial killers. And maybe the police are after it, but then the aliens feel that, and since he's immune, that maybe they should hunt these serial killers down because they're responsible for it. And basically, the government knows that they're aliens and they're trying to get back to their ship, but they pay them not to make this, which doesn't make sense. So you think the government would dissect them. Why would they just leave them there? And maybe because they have superior knowledge, they're just like left, and he's left alone too because he's to discredit, because he's like this bunk hokum script writer and B movie plot maker, screenplays, and he writes second tier science fiction, so they can live freely, and it'll be on the level of the National Enquirer, My Neighbors the Aliens, because it's Like, ha ha, they're all, it's more of this conspiracy, right wing conspiracy, left wing conspiracy. My neighbors, the gay aliens, who made a meat substitute that was made out of worms that were actually, so it's not vegan, but they're vegetable worms. They're like a vegetable that can writhe around and looks like a worm. I don't know. Or maybe it's something that the worms poop out. Evidently, it infects the population, and the only people that know how to catch them are the aliens, and the aliens are now being paid by the government not to produce this substance, and they're slowly fixing their ship, but the government maybe has an agreement with them that they'll give them some technology, which they're reluctant to do, but also they have to help round up these zombie serial killers, which were created by the meat substitute that they originally put into the commerce to try to raise money so that they could pay their rent and fix their spaceship and get back to their planet and off this awful cisgender planet. And that's where we are with my plot, huh? So now maybe they're like the Night Stalker or the X-Files. They got to deal with the FBI. And they got to deal with these zombie serial killers, which occasionally explode. Not always, but sometimes their intestines explode and all these worms come out. But mostly they're just zombie serial killers. And they feel bad, and the government wants to hunt them down because these zombie serial killers, when they bite people in the neck, and they're sex fiends, and sometimes when they rape and violate people, they infect them. So they got to hunt them down before it spreads, or disinfect them, or basically they got to exterminate them with their weapons, which I think will be like what I have, either like a little Bianca spray, which will kill them, and then there's the you cut them up with a special knife, which is like a religious instrument. They have a weird sort of psycho-Buddhist religion. They believe in reincarnation, and then they have this. Which if they flash it just right, they can kill the zombie serial killers that were produced by the worm that ate Cleveland. Well, anyways, that's the plot of my movie so far. What do you think? Pretty stupid, huh? All right, here we go.